Hello and welcome to iamGEEK. This is episode 189. I'm Catron, and there's Chris, and there's no Ryan.
No.
Where's Ryan?
Right? Hello?
Ryan. Shoot. We're doing this without Ryan. Ryan's on vacation.
Yeah.
He told us we had to do this or we wouldn't be paid this week.
You get paid?
Oh, I mean,
Wait a minute. It all makes sense now.
No, we insisted that we do this, and because we wanted to talk about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, this is us without Ryan.
This is us without. We get to do the fun stuff.
We can do whatever we want to.
But thanks for everybody for being in the live chat. I see everybody in the YouTube chat, and I see Ryan is there. So I hope you're having fun in Disney on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to make this happen. And we had an awesome episode last week. If you weren't able to join us, if you weren't in the chat, we had some great interaction with you guys as we had Omega from Crimson Dawn Sabers.
Yeah.
And we gave away 3 lightsabers.
I can't believe we gave away 3.
Really?
Like we planned on the 1.
Yeah.
But then it's like, hey, I give another one away. Hey, why not another one?
Why 2?
It's like, oh my goodness.
And it wasn't just any lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
The first lightsaber was a custom lightsaber just for this show.
Yes.
Like it was a Frankensaber, as they call it in the biz.
In the biz.
But it had a samurai end on it and some different colored pieces and gold, and it was incredible. I was blown away.
It was nice. Some guy in a cloak apparently made it. Amazing.
That's right.
Seth.
So if you have no idea what we're talking about, go back and listen to episode 188 with Omega, or find it on YouTube. It was, in fact, go find it on YouTube or Facebook because it was incredible.
Yeah, it's one you need to watch. We've got the podcast out there for you to listen to, which you might be doing right now, but we also have the video on YouTube.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, for sure. So anyways, thanks again. Tonight we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat, one of my favorite franchises.
Oh yeah.
Of movies and games. Well, it's a franchise because they've got it all, right?
They had an animated show. Not many people remember.
Are you talking about the one that was like not too long ago with Scorpion?
No, it was.
Oh,
it came out years ago. It was an animated TV show.
What?
Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it was not like bloody, like the games were. It was like a Saturday morning cartoon.
So yeah, what I found was, speaking of cartoons, I mean, is that there's an animated adult series called Mortal Kombat Legacy. Mm-hmm. It was in 2011. No, I'm sorry. That's not the animated. Sorry. It was Scorpion's Revenge. Yes. Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. That was in 2020. So this is just last year. And it talks about the where Scorpion came from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
it's
why he's so angry.
Yeah, it's basically like his movie. So it's on HBO Max now. They just last week or the week before. I actually watched it when
I started it
after I got my first COVID shot and I couldn't sleep that night. Like I was trying to find something to watch and they had just put it on. I was like, oh, I'm watching Mortal Kombat. I'm sitting here in pain. It's perfect.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I started watching it today just because I saw it there. Because they have another little featurette that's on HBO Max that you were telling me about that I had to go watch. It was like 3 minutes long. Kind of breaks down the characters and some of the actors that are in there and talking about the movie. And it's not just the trailer; it's them talking, and so it's pretty cool. But then I saw that, and I was like, "Wow, there's that!" Because the only thing I could find about it was that it went straight to digital.
Yeah, it was a digital movie.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like it's like a telling of like the first Mortal Kombat that like Liu Kang and Johnny Cage and Sonya all go to, but it mostly focuses on Scorpion's journey because it
Yeah,
starts out with him losing his family to the first Sub-Zero by Han, I think is his name,
yeah.
and basically yeah, him going through trying to get revenge in Scorpion's revenge. I guess it's a apropos title.
So, yeah, and they kind of go through some of that story or some of Scorpion's story in the one of the video games. I guess
Yeah.
what's the current video game? 11 is that the current
11
one?
is the current one. Yeah, they like
So
you don't really
in
think.
10, I know they
Yeah,
went
in
through it
10 they
a little
did
bit. Yeah,
a lot of it. Like yeah, you don't really think of like story when you think of Mortal Kombat necessarily,
that's right. Yeah,
but they actually put like quite a bit of
yeah,
story into it. And yeah, they've gotten into more like actual cinematics that you can watch. Before it was like maybe
yeah,
a nice drawing and someone was talking over it and kind of
yeah.
and that was kind of basically it. Like at the end, once you beat the game. But yeah,
Right.
they're going like in depth story wise now.
Which, which is great. I mean, I guess so. The first movie was in 1995, right?
Yes.
And it was incredible,
Oh, it
right?
was so good.
You know, because you had the video game that came out, and it'd been out for a couple of years. They'd gone through a couple or a few different versions or sequels, I guess you could call them,
Hmm.
and and this movie came out and had the best soundtrack,
Oh yeah.
especially during that time. I mean, that was they used the music that was popular then, of course, but
Hmm.
it just kind of I guess techno
Yeah, it's
dance
like
music or
you
industrial.
you couldn't go to any laser tag arena without that
that's
playing in the
that's
background. Where like it's very distracting because you're trying to like hunt down your friends and shoot them, but then you get in the groove and you're like,
yeah.
Kato, Johnny Cage, Scorpion.
But that movie was a lot about Johnny Cage, right? If I remember correctly.
It like yeah, it focused on his story. It focused on Liu Kang. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it was basically it
So
was Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny Cage,
yeah.
and it mostly was like kind of Liu Kang and Johnny Cage, focusing
Yeah.
on those two because it delved into more of their backgrounds a little bit more than like Sonya did. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's really funny because the like Luke Johnny Cage. I want to say Luke Cage. No, that's not
wrong.
wrong one.
Wrong
Mixing up names.
franchise.
Johnny Cage was based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme,
yeah. Yeah.
and it really fits. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Bloodsport was I remember in the '90s, right? That movie, maybe it was '80s. I don't remember. I just remember watching it and thinking that was like one of the best movies ever. Bloodsport, and then Best of the Best, right? Those were
mhm.
the two big movies with Jean Claude Van Damme, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but and they were brutal, or at least Bloodsport was.
Mhm.
It's Bloodsport for Pete's sake. So yeah, that's I guess that's where that kind of came from. So we knew there, we kind of saw that story, but it really surprised me how much they've kind of invested in Scorpion in these stories to pull out the storyline. But he's really one of the most popular
He,
and most identifiable characters with that
yeah,
game,
he's
right?
really is. He's one of the favorite fighters that people pick. His moves are pretty easy to do. Like he's one of my favorite characters to play.
Yeah,
Um, because he's got the get over here and
yeah,
where he
yeah,
shoots out the chain and pulls you over. But then he's also
yeah.
got like the teleport, which he'll like shoot behind him off screen and then pop up on the other side, which is a
Yes.
nice little. You can just go back and forth and really just make people hate you. That
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, that's the thing about a lot of those of the fighting games. They always have that one or two characters that you can, if you figure out how to exploit the cheat,
Hmm.
right, to the moves, then it becomes annoying to other people playing. And
Yeah.
I never could do all the moves,
No.
but I was good enough to exploit some of the things because I remember going to Comic Palooza the first time we went and they had the little mini arcade set up, and there was a Mortal Kombat there. And I don't remember if I walked up and this other guy was playing and I asked to play with him, or if he walked up, whatever.
Hmm.
I'm playing this guy I don't know, and he's a little bit younger than me, and I beat him every single time. And he finally just walked away. And I was like, I'm sorry. No, no, no. He didn't walk away. I walked away because I was like, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you play. Because he obviously didn't grow up with it, I guess. But I love the original game. The
Hmm.
newer ones are more difficult to me,
Yeah.
but they're incredibly made. With the way the graphics are, the
Hmm.
gore and the
Oh,
moves.
yeah, the first one, like I remember that being like insane because yeah, it's actual people that they filmed and turned them into like game sprites
Oh wow,
to
yeah,
use. And you can
that's true.
find like YouTube videos and stuff of them actually filming these people going through these moves. And it's like the same like three or four people. Like the it's like one woman that plays
You could
like all the
tell.
women.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the other two guys are like interchanging between different guys. I think it may have been the same guy that played like Kano and Johnny Cage. I'm not sure, but
It could have.
but,
Yeah,
it's really cool how they did it, and that
yeah,
was like because Street Fighter, another fighting game that came out around the same time, that was big.
yeah.
Like at least Street Fighter 2, I think, was around the time
That
that
was
was
the big
Mortal
one. Yeah,
Kombat.
yeah.
They're so different, and it's like, are you a Street
Right.
Fighter player or Mortal Kombat player?
Yeah,
Which
we
do
had
you
this
prefer?
discussion
Yeah,
on a previous
we have.
episode, even. Go
And
find it.
yeah, go find it. It's out there somewhere. I
Right.
was more of a Mortal Kombat player because
Me too.
the moves were easier. You could kind of button mash, and I think we've talked
Yeah.
about this. Yeah, it's a little easier to pull the moves off. Uh,
Oh yeah. And it's still that way
yeah,
to me, I think.
yeah, because there's a lot of characters that have the same moves, like roll forward X, roll back X, and like that kind of stuff. It's a little easier. Um, Actually, Liu Kang is like the hardest player for me. His moves are the most
Yeah.
complicated,
Yeah.
and
I know.
they do a lot of damage, but it's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those were
Yeah.
really hard. That was one of the things I thought about too. Was like, how did we figure out the moves back then? On the first few that came out, because they had books
Yeah.
with most of the games.
Hmm.
The internet wasn't really a thing that you go looking for game information on
Mm-mm.
in the 90s. Not so much. You didn't have YouTube to go watch how to do these things.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember how we figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
Like the fatalities, for
Oh yeah,
instance.
the fatalities especially
Yeah,
were hard. A lot of times, like they had the gaming magazines that would come out,
that's true.
like
Like Nintendo Power
Nintendo
and stuff.
Power and
Yeah,
stuff that would kind of like
yeah.
show you how to like maybe get through something secret levels and stuff. Because actually, Mortal Kombat, the game was the first game put out that had like unlockable like secret characters that you could
Yeah,
get,
that's right.
like Noob Sabat or Smoke or
Yeah.
other characters like that, which is interesting. I found that kind of cool that it
Oh
was one
yeah.
of the first ones, and they would, I think, Mortal Kombat 2 would kind of do like little hints on how you could at least fight the characters. They may not
Right.
be unlockable, but you could fight them. Um,
Yeah. So did you guys have the first one?
we had the first one, so yeah, I remember like, I mean, arcades were a thing
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
They still are, but I guess a little bit. But it's more
Not the
the
same.
drinking in arcade
Yeah.
anymore.
That's true.
But the yeah, I remember because like yeah, people would go play that, do all the quarters, and of course it had all the blood. But yeah, we had the Super Nintendo. We were all like
Okay.
Nintendo at that
Yep.
time.
We were too. Yep.
We didn't get like a Genesis until later, and we didn't get a PlayStation until later. And we had Mortal Kombat on the Super NES, and Nintendo actually muted the blood on
Right.
their first Mortal
They
Kombat
they
game.
use sweat.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, sweat. Oh, he's knocking the sweat off of me. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
Right.
Um,
Right. But you could later unlock it if you had the genie, the
that's
game genie,
true.
and did a special code.
Yes, you could unlock the blood.
Yeah, it could be reverted to the original red blood color via Game Genie code input as BDB4-DD07. I didn't do the Game Genie, but that's what I was
We
reading.
had the
I thought that
Game
was interesting.
Genie.
Yeah,
That was an amazing tool for games.
yeah,
to get past
Yeah.
stuff that you
Oh, I'm
couldn't beat,
sure.
especially.
Yeah.
Unlock all
Yeah.
the
That
levels
was
and
the
choose a level to go to.
yeah.
Love that.
We've got a retro video game store here in town, and they get those things in, and they get all the different machines in, and it's incredible the stuff they get,
Hmm.
and the different kinds of games, and
Yeah, they're really cool. Like especially because a lot of them, like you just pay like a certain price up front, and then all the games are just unlocked, and you just play as much as you want to.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's really cool. I
that was
like
cool.
doing that. I finally beat the Ninja Turtle game doing that because I didn't have to spend all the quarters. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's terrible. But with the Genesis version, you still had to unlock it. Like it wasn't by default, right?
Hmm.
You had to the cheat code was ABACABB, which is a nod. It says a nod to the album by the band Genesis, who shared their name with the North American version of the console.
Well, there you
Thought that
go.
was interesting, and and because of the blood, that was the reason. It's one article I read. I don't know how true this is, but Mortal Kombat's the reason why they started doing ratings on video games.
Yes, it was like I think.
MA13 was the rating.
Yeah, I think there were some ratings, but they were kind of loose or whatever.
Yeah.
And this really like nudged them into like, yeah, we should probably rate this because they're ripping out spines. Uh, Maybe it's not for everyone. I don't know. Me as a young one, I
yeah.
was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. It was really cool, and there was a. I also read that the original game was actually supposed to be something totally different.
Yes, it was.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was actually like speaking. We spoke a little bit of Jean-Claude Van Damme. It was
Yeah.
actually going to be a Universal Soldier game.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And it was like the movie was so hyped. It was Jean-Claude Van Damme, everything. The movie came out and it was just panned, like critically panned. It was just like, and so it was losing all this money, and
yeah.
so the company backed out, not wanting to make a Universal Soldier game, and like Jean-Claude Van Damme backed out. So they're like, well, we have all this like tech and characters and stuff that we can do, and they just like, well, we'll just make our own game, and that's how kind of it was born. So thank you, Universal Soldier,
Yes,
not
for real.
being the
Yeah.
best movie.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine like we that that game. I think I spent so much time on that game, and like
Hmm.
I can't imagine that game not being there. I probably would have played Street Fighter, I guess, and gotten better at it, or gotten upset. I don't know, because
Yeah.
I was terrible at that game. But man, that was just great. And then the movie comes out a couple years later after the video games, like I say, a couple years, and then they make another one in 1997, which you said you watched it recently,
I did watch.
Annihilation.
I did watch it again recently because the new movie's coming out, and that one's on the second one is on HBO Max, and it's like, I'll put it on again. Why not? It can't be that bad. It's pretty
I don't
bad.
remember it.
But
Yeah,
it's one of those movies that it's bad that it makes it good.
sure.
That it makes it a fun watch. Like the guy playing Shao Kahn is just in it. Like he is like
Sold out.
I am winning an Emmy for this. No matter what happens, I am going all out. He's amazing.
Yeah.
But what really struck people, I think, like right out the get go with that one is like right off the bat, like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, I think, into the movie, they kill Johnny Cage, and
Yeah.
it's just like, really,
What? He's the
you
hero.
killed Johnny Cage?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
could you kill Johnny Cage?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh
I
well.
yeah. I remember watching it probably a couple times, but I don't remember it as much. I mean, you could say the first one was pretty cheesy too.
Hmm.
In fact, it was. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Johnny Cage was
it's
ridiculous or whatever,
definitely cheesy.
it's
Like,
but it man, it's such great cheesiness, you know.
yeah, it's so fun. Like of course, yeah, like you said, killer soundtrack. And
Yeah.
like a lot of the fight scenes were, especially for the time, I mean, were fun fight scenes. Like they didn't really use a lot of the moves necessarily from the
Yeah.
games. Like
Oh
Liu
yeah.
Kang
That's
wasn't throwing fireballs or
well, they're not realistic moves
yeah.
most of the time.
And to me, it's just like, okay, so you have like a Thunder God, Raiden.
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
And he's shooting lightning and doing all this stuff, and it's like all
Yep.
these other worlds and all these like other creatures, but having Liu Kang like shoot fireball out of his fist a little too much. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why they thought that was like the cutoff point necessarily.
Right.
But you did get Johnny Cage doing the split and punching Goro in the balls.
Yeah. Right.
And
They had to have
so
that.
you did get his signature move,
Oh.
and that's
I,
amazing.
yeah, and I mean that's true. It's that move is still in there too, right? And at least the last one I played on 10, you could still do that move, and I think his daughter that's in the game can do it as well.
Yeah,
If I'm
she does
thinking,
like a similar move. I
yeah,
think it's a little more brutal. Of course,
yeah,
now in the games when you do that, they do like an X-ray mode version, and you really see it like
yeah.
laying into
The
them. Yeah, the
muscles and
muscles and everything. Like they
yeah,
they have gone like just like level 11
yeah,
with those now. It's
I,
gruesome.
yeah, and I kind of have a feeling with this new movie, it's gonna be cheesy in a way. It's a video game movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of a video game movie that hasn't been cheesy. The Street Fighter movie,
Oh,
the I don't did I they had a Resident Evil game movie, right?
they had a few Resident Evil movies. Like
Yeah,
it has spawned
that's right.
quite a
Yeah,
series of movies with those.
yeah,
And yeah, there's definitely like that. Each movie amped up the like just insaneness and cheesiness
right.
with those.
You
Of course.
because that's the thing. Sorry,
Oh,
games are over the top.
yeah.
That you expect something, and they just you can't. They're trying to match that craziness, that over the topness, and um, I don't know. I mean, it's fine, but
Oh yeah, like this one like will be rated R.
yes,
Because the other ones were PG-13. Um,
it's true.
because they're like, okay, the game's kind of like a game rated R, but we want to draw on the younger ones anyway, so we'll go PG-13. We'll get more
Yeah.
money. Um, but yeah, so this one is definitely like the fatalities are going to be in there.
Oh yeah.
There will be character deaths.
There will be gory
There will be
deaths. That's
gory
right.
deaths. I mean, in
Yeah.
the trailer, we see Kano like holding someone's heart, going, "Kano wins."
That's right.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean that there. I mean that kind of gives you a hint to how cheesy it's gonna be.
yeah, it's
It's like,
gonna.
but he's awesome. I mean Kano, that character is hilarious. You know his
Mhm.
accent
Yeah, it's a funny
and
character.
his
Like I never really cared to play as him, and I think someone in our chat mentioned that like they didn't
yeah,
really like playing as Kano, and I agree with you.
yeah,
He wasn't the best character. He had the eye blast thing, and that was like kind of his thing.
and a spinny move though too, right? Like he
So,
turned into a ball or something like that.
I
I don't know. I
don't
could be wrong,
think
but
so.
yeah, a lot of them were hard. You kind of had to pick your guy that you liked and learn his moves. You know.
Yeah, with the first game, it was definitely Scorpion.
Yeah.
Second game, I believe, was when Baraka showed up, and I
Yeah.
was a Baraka player.
That was
He
ridiculous.
was like
Yeah.
the Wolverine of Mortal Kombat. He had his giant bone claws coming out of his arms,
Yes.
and he's not as big of a character anymore in
No.
games, which makes me sad. He's more of a background character. He was in it for a
Yeah.
while, but like Mortal Kombat X is what we've played a lot.
Yeah. That's right.
And I really like that one. That one's really good.
Yeah,
Um,
it's fun.
Especially because they started adding in like kind of guest characters in the
Yes.
games now, and that one had Jason Voorhees. Freddy Krueger was in one. I think that was the Xbox version.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love playing as Jason Voorhees in
Yes, we know.
X.
So for we play this game or have played it a lot and do kind of a King of the Hill type where you just whoever wins gets to play the next person and it's just the three of us so it's we go back and forth and Chris has played it a bit more than us and he has his favorite characters he knows their moves and it destroys us but
Yeah,
we get him every once in a
every
while.
once in a while, because it's kind of funny with that one because I do tend to pick the guest characters more than
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other characters.
So Alien,
Alien,
does
the Alien, the
it's just
Xenomorph,
called the
yeah,
Alien. Yeah. Um, Predators in that one.
Predator is in that one.
Um,
Uh,
can't think of the rest of them, but
yeah.
that's a lot of
And
fun.
Leatherface.
Oh yeah, Leatherface. That's
He
right.
throws a chainsaw. Straight
So
up throws it.
he throws the chainsaw. Some people juggle them,
Yeah,
but
he just throws it at you.
yeah.
It's nice.
So one of the articles I was looking at mentions a guy that's um, in that game, and he happens to be the trainer for Liu Kang and Kung Lao. I don't know if you knew
Oh
this,
no.
but because he weaponized farts and puke.
Oh wait, yes, that guy. Yes, yes,
So his name is Bo Rai Cho, I guess is what it
yes.
says on this.
That's his name.
But he trained Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and he seems like the worst. I mean, because he's drunk and right? Is he kind of a drunken style or
He's
whatever?
like a drunken style, like drunken master type thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's weaponized farts and vomit, and it's the worst character. I do not like
Oh, it's
playing as
terrible.
that character. Like I lose every time. I try when we play and do like the randomized pick, and
Yeah.
it brings him up. I'm like, just kill me so we can move on to the next one.
Let's just go on to the next. Yeah.
Just kill me.
Yeah.
I do not like that character.
Yeah, he's terrible. I mean, if you can figure out how to use those things to your advantage, I guess,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Everybody
in
sighs when they
in
get.
our chat here, Ryan is with us, and
Hey, Ryan.
hi Ryan, how we doing? He always liked Nightwolf, which was a good character. Which
I,
I don't know if it was Mortal Kombat 2 or 3, maybe
I don't
3 when
remember
he showed up.
Nightwolf.
Um,
Um,
he was actually in the second movie, Mortal Kombat, where he
okay.
shows Liu Kang how to do animalities. And at the
Okay.
end, Liu Kang
Oh,
changes
yeah,
into
yeah,
a
yeah.
giant
I know who he
dragon.
is. Okay. Yep. I got you. I
uh,
know who Nightwolf
and
is.
the
Yeah.
cyborgs, which was Cyrax,
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
and Smoke ends up being a one.
Yeah.
Like Triborg, I think, is in Mortal Kombat X, and it's like a combination of the three
Okay.
cyborg
Yeah.
characters, and you can kind of pick and choose between the three who you want to play as. And then, of course, yeah, Scorpion and Sub Zero. Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
talked much about Sub Zero. He was a good player. He was good
Yeah.
because you could freeze your enemy. You could,
And break
yeah,
them.
you could break them, and you could like form like a completely solid ice version of you and jump back. And so,
Yeah.
like an attack would hit that and it would explode, or you
Right.
could, in later games, you could pick it up and throw it,
That's
which is
awesome.
great.
That's incredible. Yeah. So, did you have a favorite character besides Jason Voorhees, or is that your answer?
Well, I kind of mentioned like Baraka.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like he was one of those characters that some of his moves were a little easy, and he had a good reach to him,
Yep, that's true.
so you
Yeah.
could keep the other player at bay a little easier, and be more annoying with him.
Yeah.
So I did like playing as him, and then yeah, of course Scorpion is always
Yeah.
a good player. So
Yeah, Scorpion for me. I think if I had to pick one, it'd be Scorpion because I could throw the javelin thing or whatever the chain and
mhm.
pull him back. Get over here, and that was like the coolest thing ever, playing that game is being able to that he said that and you're like he said get over here, and it's just like that is so awesome. And um, I was kind of laughing in the new movie. The character the actor that plays Scorpion, when you hear him say "Get over here," if you haven't heard it or haven't seen it, go watch the trailer. But to me, he kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get over here, This is it's kind of ridiculous.
You now.
It's kind of funny,
That's awesome.
but
Another character.
I
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Uh,
no, you
Another
could.
character I liked in the newer ones. I think she showed up in Mortal Kombat X. Actually, was Devora. She's the insect character,
Oh my gosh, yes.
and,
Ugh.
and she she can move really quickly. A lot of the female characters are awesome too. I love to play them, like Melina
Yeah,
and Katana, because they're super fast characters, and I like playing super fast characters because you can
yeah.
just jump around crazy. There's one character I can't think of her name, but like she has like a staff, and it's just her jumping around and kicking like super fast.
Yeah.
And it's one of those characters I actually played against someone like this, where like if you know her combos and go through them pretty quickly, you're like all over the screen. So if you hit a groove, like you just win.
Melina?
No, it's not.
Because there's Katana, Melina, Sonya Blade, Devora, Cassie Cage, Jade, Sindel, Kronika. I don't know.
It's one of the newer
Yeah,
ones, but like I actually like turned
Sorry,
around in my chair and didn't even look at the
Tanya.
screen and just like
Yeah.
went through all of her moves, and I actually won.
Oh, nice.
Like, and
That's funny.
only was able to
Just
do
by
it
looking at
once.
the
Yeah, just
instructions.
by just like looking at
Yeah.
like, okay, do this move, do this, do this. And
Yeah.
it's because she's insane, like jumping all over the screen. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Like I said, you can definitely find and exploit some cheats with some of those characters. But yeah, some of the females like Katana, didn't she have like the
yeah,
fans? Was
Katana
that
had
the
the
one?
fans. She could throw them. She could
Yeah.
block with them. She can do like a whirlwind that could, like pick
Yes.
you up or whatever. Like Devora could do that with insects, so that was already always cool that you can like just lift
Yes.
the other character up and just be annoying with it.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
uh, Winchester in the chat says Jade has a staff, so maybe it was Jade that you.
No, it wasn't.
I don't
It
know.
was a new
Well, good
character.
grief. I
I
don't know.
don't
It's all
know.
right. But it's yeah, they've done a really good job with the game and making the characters interesting. A lot of the moves are similar. I mean, you could get by and you have some similar characters, but I mean, how many things can you actually do? You know, it's I mean, but it super creative, super gory and
hmm
fun. But again, I think part of it is like I said with Scorpion is they added all of these. Um, voices. You had the person starting the fight, and
hmm
you had this guy back there that is kind of looking over this and saying finish him, and telling you kind of commanding you. And of course they put this in with um, the movies too, which is awesome, and kept that going. Which again kind of makes it cheesy,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
hmm
That's all right. But
Nothing wrong with some cheese.
right. So you mentioned, I think earlier, that there were actually two Sub Zeros.
Yes, there were two. Yes,
Yeah,
in the first game it was like Baihan.
by Han. Yeah.
He was the first Sub-Zero. He was evil. Um, he fought for like Outworld, which was like the
I
bad
think so.
guys, because basically Mortal Kombat is um, all these different like universes like fighting like they to absorb the other ones to like and in order to do that they have to do Mortal Kombat tournaments, and if one of the worlds wins like 10 tournaments in a row, then they like can rule that place basically.
Yeah.
and and so he was fighting for them for Outworld, and in his history they go into later, he supposedly like he killed Scorpion's family, so there was that rivalry between the two. And in that movie, yeah, like it goes into that cartoon, and
Yeah.
it looks like they will go into that in the new movie too. Um,
Yes, I think so.
but yeah, and supposedly in between Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2, the game, Scorpion kills Baihan Sub-Zero in between it for some
Oh my
reason, not in the
gosh.
first game. He's in between the games. And his younger brother takes over as Sub-Zero and goes after Scorpion for revenge. Um,
Yeah.
but actually, like if you played all the games, especially like I think in the latest one, Mortal Kombat 11, they've kind of settled their differences.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah, they're
good.
on the same team. They both fight for the good guys.
Oh, I mean they dress alike,
I
so
mean,
I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's just the same character, but just a different color. I mean, just get
yeah,
along. It's
yeah.
fine.
Just kidding.
All of them, him and Smoke and Noob Sabat. Actually, Noob Sabat is the original Sub-Zero, come back from the
I was gonna
dead.
say, yeah, and which for those that don't know, Noob Saibot is actually Tobias Ed Boone, which is the creator of the franchise. If you flip the name around of Noob Saibot, that's actually the creator,
Mhm.
Tobias Boone.
Yes.
But that was always cool when you played it. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
I know what
I
this
believe
is.
he did the voice of Scorpion. The get over here.
Yes.
That was him.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So
but
yeah, this new movie is gonna have the original Sub-Zero, and I don't know.
that's awesome.
I don't think he's making it out of this movie. And, I
Yeah,
have a feeling
it's probably
he's gonna
true.
die.
So, do you think? Let's talk about the new movie,
Oh
I
yeah.
guess, then a little bit more since that's what we're talking about. So next week, on the 23rd, the movie comes out in theaters, and HBO Max, and also in IMAX
Oh,
theaters, which is
that's
pretty
cool.
cool. Um, uh, we don't have an IMAX here in Memphis. There's one in Nashville, but I'm not going to drive to it. But I don't guess it'll be in the 4:3 though on HBO Max like the Snyder Cut.
But why?
but but I'll be watching on HBO Max.
I will as
I, I,
well.
I I mean, it would be incredible to see it in a
It would
theater,
be
but
cool.
I'm not gonna go pay for it to see
I just
in a theater.
I'm a homebody now. I leave
Me
the
too.
house,
Yeah.
and it's nice that they're doing that this year for some of those movies.
Yeah.
I know the directors and some of the cast aren't necessarily happy about it, but
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes.
Watched Godzilla versus Kong like that, and it
Oh
would have
yeah.
been nice on
Yeah.
the big screen, but it was also fun
Sure.
watching at home. And
I I do think, just speaking of that, in the being in the theater though, this would probably be a fun movie to see with a bunch of people.
yes, yes, it would.
Because you're gonna get people that have uh, that are our age, or maybe a little bit older, or maybe a little bit younger. That grew up with the games, and they're gonna be like, yes, and everybody's gonna be laughing and clapping and all. And that's kind of
Uh,
fun. It irritates me at Star Wars movies, but for this, I think it'd be
Oh yeah,
fun. you know,
I'm pretty sure that when someone beats someone in this movie, there will be people in the audience yelling out, "Finish him!"
yes, yes, I would probably do it. I would laugh out loud and do it with them because it's almost like going to see what is the one where you throw the toast? What is that movie? Oh,
So the toast. Oh,
Rocky
Rocky
Horror
Horror
Picture
Picture.
Show.
Okay,
That
yeah.
whole thing.
Hmm.
They have that whole thing where it's interacting with the
Yeah,
audience. And all that
there's
stuff.
like a whole script
Yeah,
that people say along after someone says it on the
yeah,
screen. Like
yeah.
that's crazy. Everybody like goes and
So
dresses up like the characters, which I mean really could work for this movie because
yes,
so many characters have masks in this movie that you could easily do a cosplay and go watch this movie
that's
and
true.
not get kicked
That's
out of the theater.
that's what I said about going to Comic Palooza. I was like, there's going to be so many people dressed as Mortal Kombat characters because so many characters wear masks. It
In
just
fact,
works.
you
So
could be Sub-Zero, I could be Scorpion, and Ryan could be Noob
yeah,
Sabat.
that's
He's a
right.
noob.
Uh, he is a noob. Yeah.
He's not here. We can say
Um,
that.
that's right. But I think the new movie just visually looks pretty cool.
Mhm.
I kind of laugh though at the laser shooting out of Kano's eye, right? In that
Yeah.
Kano, um, it kind of looks goofy,
Yeah,
but
that like the thing with Kano in the movie is like in the games, like he has like a very like metal piece over his eye with like a
yes,
glowing
yeah,
red eye, and it's very
yeah,
obvious that's like there. But this, it's like it's almost like underneath the skin, and his eye just looks normal.
that's weird.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's a little weird, but but I love his accent,
yeah,
so I'm fine with him.
yeah. I think he'll be
Yeah.
funny. I think it'll be
Yeah,
cheesy
a
but
lot of
funny. So
the graphics, I mean, yeah, they look really nice in it. Like Sub-Zero stuff looks really nice
yes,
because like when Jax is shooting at him, you can see like him using his powers and all the bullets slowing down with ice coming out of the gun. It's a really
yes,
cool visual,
yeah.
so that'll be nice.
He throws up a wall. I think by sliding, it shoots up behind him, and he throws somebody into that
Yes, I
wall,
think
and
it's
it's
Scorpion
so cool.
actually. Uh,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
right
Yeah.
before that, he like basically like gets him down as and he cuts him. The blood flies out. He freezes the blood into a dagger and then sticks it back into him. Just like, I'm
Oh, that's
sold.
awesome. Yeah.
I'm watching this movie.
it's, that's right. Yeah.
By the way, this is not for kids.
It's not for
Not a
kids.
kids movie.
Yeah. I maybe we should have
Yeah,
said that.
we should have.
I mean, some kids would watch it. Some parents let their kids watch those movies, but not my son. He would have nightmares for days. So, I think
I
a lot of kids would agree, or parents would
I
agree
probably
with
would
their
have
kids.
watched it as a kid and
But
had nightmares for days.
we, gosh, I remember watching the second Nightmare on Elm Street movie after school one day, and whenever that came out, a long time ago, and I mean, it had to be middle school. But it was so funny because we like snuck and did it. I don't know if my mom's listening or watching, but I'm sure she knew we watched it. But it was like we came over to, maybe it was the third one. I don't remember. But anyways, we came over to my house or somebody's house. I don't remember. And it was a bunch of us kids, and we were sitting there watching it, and it was, man, that movie was creepy. So and that was middle school. I mean,
Hmm.
of course, kids these days and people these days are pretty desensitized
Oh yeah.
because it's all the games we play, all the movies are just
Hmm.
extreme, right?
Yeah. And really, like
So
I remember, like I didn't watch
I don't know.
horror movies as a kid. Like I didn't really
Yeah,
want to. I watched like Terminators and Predator and stuff
yeah,
like that because it
yeah.
was more like sci-fi and stuff like that as a kid. Like I was probably too young when I saw Terminator 2, but it's fine. I turned out okay.
It's all
Um,
right. Yeah,
but like I was always afraid to watch like Freddy, like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. And then I watched them
yeah.
as like an adult. I'm just like, oh, that's it. Like
That's
it's
right.
just it kind of disappointed
It's
me a little bit because
yeah,
it's I like the plot of it sounds like amazing, like someone like in your
yeah,
dreams killing you, and there's so much like ideas and so much like visuals you can do with it. But of course, at the time when they made it, they could only do so much. So it's just like, oh, it's just he's just chasing somebody, and that's a really fake thing, and that's way too much blood coming out of the bed. Like,
yeah, yeah.
that's just ridiculous.
Yes, it was very extreme. Yeah, but yeah, we didn't watch a whole lot. I mean, that was probably the worst that I saw as a kid, and we didn't watch the Friday the 13th movies. Maybe a little bit. Not really Halloween. I think I watched part of a Halloween, but it kind of creeped me out.
Hmm.
Um, the we're getting off subject here, but the movie that freaked me out the most, and this was in college, was watching the People Under the Stairs, um, which was not a gory movie. It was just super weird because they lived in the walls of the house.
It's coming from in the house.
Weirdest, yes. It creeped me out. I don't know why, but I remember sitting in my dorm room and watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, with all these other people. I'm like, what am I watching? But
For me, it was more the more clinical ones that
yeah,
got me, like Dr. Giggles. Like I couldn't like I just couldn't watch it. Like I think Mr.
yeah.
Collinger might be in our audience tonight. And like I think he's with me on that one. Like we were over at someone's house and they put that on and we're just like, oh.
Well, it's the things that could be
Yeah.
real, right? That,
Uh-huh.
that are the worst because it's like the people in the under the stairs. I mean, gosh, golly, you could put people in the walls, and I mean that happens. People, golly,
Hmm.
it's hide people in houses, and I don't even want to think about it, but it's bad.
Yeah, but with Mortal Kombat, it's just like pulling out
Mortal
people's
Kombat.
spines and like, that's fine.
Yes, it's
That's
okay.
fine.
Yes, it's
Oh,
not
this
real.
this woman blew a kiss and they like caught on fire. Like
It's a video game.
it's a video game. It's okay.
I watched a video on YouTube that was showing all the different fatalities or different versions of the same fatality of Scorpion throughout the years, like the fire, because he
Oh
did
yeah.
the thing where he pulled his mask off or his face
Hmm.
off, and then it was a skull, and he breathed fire to burn him up, and like the progression of it as it got better, and then they showed it. He did something totally different in one of the later ones, and then he went back to burning them alive again, and the person's like running off, and they add comedy into it,
Hmm.
which I think is funny. They add that comedy
Yeah.
into 10,
It's
and maybe the other ones I don't
it's
know,
it's
but
the thing where it goes so over the top that
yeah,
it becomes funny. It becomes hilarious. Like it's just like and my cat's feeder's going off.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal
That's what it
Kombat.
sounds like.
That's the cats going into Mortal Kombat. And
That's right.
But yeah, it's so over the top and just ridiculous. And then they like even upped it further when they added like the animalities where you could turn into an animal and take
Yes,
out the
that's a good
person.
point.
And then the babalities were
Yeah,
like turn into babies, and
totally weird.
and
Yeah.
then the friendships where it's just like you don't kill them, you're just like a rainbow appears and like this was a
Yeah.
great match. Yeah.
Because then it became, can you do these things, right? And that was, but that was probably even before getting what do you call it, the achievements,
Yeah.
right, in video
Mhm.
games. Those started in the original Xbox, I believe, or maybe the 360. Um, but it became more, and I guess that's where that kind of came from too, is people just saying I did this, and now they're getting rewarded for it,
Yeah.
in games now.
Because
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it wasn't just those. Then there were the environment fatalities that you could do too, where you could knock
yeah,
someone off a bridge and then you'd see them fall into like a pit of spikes, and there'd be other characters down there. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, it was like a rite of passage.
yeah.
You could perform all these different kills.
So this new movie, but going back to the movie, it's not a sequel.
Mm-mm.
It's a reboot,
Yeah.
and it's there's a MMA fighter named Cole Young, and he gets this mark. He finds this like birthmark. He thinks it's a birthmark that's on his chest, and they're like, "No, man, no, dude, you know, that's a dragon mark." And
it's it's exactly
yeah,
shaped like a dragon.
it's almost like a
Yeah, I
branding or
know. It
something.
looks like
It's like
it's a birthmark.
it's kind of weird,
Yeah.
but it means if you have this, you're chosen to be in the tournament to fight against the Outworld,
Hmm.
right? The enemies in Outworld for high stakes battle for the universe. It's just
Yeah,
it's funny,
yeah.
but
Which is like he's a new character. Like he's a character
yeah,
completely made up for this. I guess kind of
yeah.
he's the audience. Like he's
He's the custom
yeah,
character if you're.
they have custom characters in Mortal Kombat now. He's cool.
You can make
You
your
know
own.
they're
Yeah.
putting him in the next game. Uh,
Oh, he'll be a DLC
he'll be a DLC,
probably.
yeah. Which is the dragon thing. Actually, when I watched the second older movie, they had like
Hmm.
a dragon symbol, but
Okay.
it was completely different. Like it was so the evil people could travel between universes, and if you defeated them, like it would like an actual like little dragon would pop out of their
Okay.
skin and do
Nice.
like a
Yeah.
horribly weird animated like screech at the screen and then like somersault in place and then explode. And it
Okay.
was a little weird, but they
It's
did
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they don't do that in this one.
So is this dragon symbol? I didn't look close enough, but is it the same one that's on the logo
It
for
I
Mortal
think it
Kombat?
is.
Oh,
It looked like
okay.
yeah, I didn't see a good capture of it, but it did
Yeah,
look
I'm
quite
sure
a
it
bit
is.
like
It's
it.
gotta. Yeah.
But and he's like, and I got another birthmark that looks a little bit like a ducky. Is that
Yeah,
another
that's
competition I gotta go into?
right. All of a sudden, there's like a side scene where he's playing Duck Hunt. And there's this dog.
I'd love that.
That would be, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
crossover
It's
we didn't
a
know
little
we
weird.
needed.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm again, I'm excited about it. It's brings back so many memories, and um, again, I wish I could watch it. Maybe we can do the watch together, and we can all say, "Get over here" together and finish him, because that's what I'm gonna miss about not seeing it in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
But because I think I saw, because okay, so 1995, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would have I was in high school then. I graduated in '96, so I guess I was still in high school. But I guess I remember seeing the other one in college in '97 with some people, so that was fun.
Yeah.
But because we played a lot of in college on different systems, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
um,
I'm pretty sure I saw both in theaters. Like one, yeah, I think I'm like a about 4 years, I think, behind you and Ryan. So I was like just about to go into high school when the first one
yeah,
out, and then like yeah, then I was in high school for the second one. and
Yeah.
I would have seen it. I probably still have the ticket stubs somewhere. Um,
Yeah.
I kept those things for a while.
One thing we didn't mention is there. I accidentally said it earlier, but it was that there was a TV show as well in 2011. There were actually 2 seasons of this show called Mortal Kombat Legacy,
Really?
and it was on YouTube.
Oh, that's
So you
right.
probably can still find it,
Yeah.
but it's a prequel to the original game, explaining the background stories of several characters in the series and their reasons for participating in the upcoming 10th Mortal Kombat tournament, in which the first game was based.
And I think
Uh,
that's how like this movie got going again because
yeah.
that YouTube show was actually really good. Like I remember,
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know if I've seen it all, but I
Sounds
remember
good.
watching it, thinking like,
I've never heard of it.
thinking like this, they should make a movie just like this. Like this is amazing.
Yeah.
I think the actor that played Kano was supposed to be playing Kano in this movie, but unfortunately passed away like before they
Oh.
started filming it. Like that's how good it was. They're like, we want to hire the people that was in that to be in this movie. Like that's just how good they were. Um, so yeah, I would suggest if you can find it on YouTube to watch it.
Yeah. I hope you. I'm sure you could find it for free, but it's probably you have to have the YouTube TV
It
or something. I
might
don't know,
be
but
now. Like I don't know. Like it was out before they started doing that. I think
yeah,
so. It might just be on there.
it might be out there. I'll have to go look for it.
Mhm.
So, real quick, some of the characters that are in this movie, we have Sonya Blade. I told you earlier, I kind of wish I hadn't seen the IMDb, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through them anyways. It's Sonya Blade, Kano. It says Baihan slash Sub Zero, so they're specifically saying it's
Yeah.
Baihan,
Hmm.
which is because this is a reboot. It's not, so it's the first one. So Jax. There's Emily and Allison, which who knows who that is.
Million Allison.
But you can't. Yeah, you can't have a movie, a Mortal Kombat movie without Lord Raiden, of
Oh, of
course. So
course.
he's in
Yeah.
there. He was one of my favorites as
He
well.
was
I
a good.
couldn't really do his moves, but except I could accidentally do the thing. I finally figured out how to do the flying thing, and I did
The
pretty well
flying
with
thing
that.
was hard because it was the
It's back
back
and
and
forth.
forth, and it
Yeah,
for me like that's hard to do on the controller. Go back and forth,
yeah,
like especially super quick to get it to register. That was hard. Like I've been able to do it on I think 11, Mortal Kombat 11
yeah,
when I played it because he's a character you have to play going through the
yeah.
story. So I was finally able to do it on that one.
So he's actually in oh gosh, what is this, the DC Comics game that we played,
Oh,
the
Injustice.
fight
Injustice
Injustice, isn't
2,
he
we
in that
put
one?
yes, he's a
Yeah,
skin that you can get.
yeah,
He's basically like he's a direct copy of like another character in there.
yeah,
But like it's made by the same company that does Mortal
yeah.
Kombat.
It's
So
very
it's
similar moves
yeah, I mean
in the
it
game.
they
So
did
yeah,
they did a Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, and that's what kind of
yeah.
led into them doing
Okay,
like
that's right.
an Injustice
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So like of course Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe didn't have any fatalities. Injustice doesn't have fatalities, but they have like these big moves that you can do. It doesn't really like rip out spines or anything like that. But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true.
like I
So
think someone gets punched into a T-Rex by Flash or something. Um,
yeah. So Scorpion, Shang Tsung is in there. Now Shang Tsung, remind me, what is
Shang Tsung
he
is the
is?
villain. He's like the main.
He's the guy that's putting on
Yeah,
the
he holds. He
the
he was
thing.
the villain
Yeah.
of the first Mortal Kombat game. He's like the ruler of Outworld is Shao Kahn, and he's like his like direct
That's okay.
underling. Because Mortal Kombat
Yep.
2 introduced Shao Kahn because you
Yeah.
beat like, Liu
It's
Kang beats Shang Tsung in that Mortal Kombat. Um, and yeah, he's been a character in the games quite a bit. The actor that played him in the original Mortal Kombat movie, actually like in the latest Mortal Kombat game, they like scanned his face, and he's
oh
actually
wow.
like you can do it. You can put his DLC like skin on him to play as him in the
Wow.
game, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah. So Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Melina, Natara, Rico, Cabal. Some of these I don't recognize.
yeah, and like yeah, it's like Natara is actually a Mortal Kombat character. in one of the games. I think she was just in one. She's like a vampire type character with like bat wings. You can
Okay.
see her briefly in the Scorpion animated movie, like
Yeah.
just briefly,
Yeah.
because I don't think she was a popular character, um, as well as Reiko. I think he's actually a
Yeah.
character.
Cabal.
Cabal is a more popular character,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
see him in the trailers.
Yeah.
Um,
Ramirez.
they'll know who Ramirez is. Um, sounds like I don't know, a cop. I don't know.
That's true. It could be a cop. I think so. There's two that are funny in here. It's referee. It's like, is there a referee?
Yeah, since when's there a referee?
I wish there was.
I,
And then the last one. It's this one person is plays audience fight scene, and he's uncredited. So sorry, I'll credit him.
uh,
Mike Phonander.
Mike
I probably butchered it, but it says audience fight scene. So he's fighting with himself. I
good
don't know.
job.
But I'm sure this is not the full list because
Yeah.
there's probably somebody that they haven't mentioned here, which is great
Mm.
because,
I,
like I said, I don't want to know everybody. It's
I know. I can see there being some surprises in there. Like you, in the trailers, you see like a character that almost looks like
yeah,
Reptile,
yeah,
but he's more actually reptilian than Reptile is. So, but he does like he can go invisible. It seems like in the trailer. So who knows? It could be him. Um, but it'd be interesting. And of course, missing from the list is Johnny Cage, big
yeah.
character.
It's
But yeah,
interesting.
the
But you have Cole Young,
yeah,
right?
he kind
And
of, I
that's
guess, he's not necessarily taking over that part, but it's like
no,
the
but
the director apparently didn't want to put him in this movie because he felt like this was enough characters for this one. He wanted to focus
right.
on these characters. I can almost see him showing up as like a an thing at the end of the movie or something, like an end credits thing.
Yeah,
Because there's like
yeah.
a huge, I think there's like a thing out there of people wanting Ryan Reynolds to play Johnny Cage,
I could see
which
that.
would, yeah,
That
it
would be
would
fun.
fit. Like it
Yeah,
definitely would fit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's all right. I'm okay with it. I bet there'll be some kind of reference to him, like I said,
some
either in the end
movie
or
poster.
like he died or like he fought in this long ago or something. They'll refer to him, but you can't have the same character twice in there. So because again, basically Cole Young is that's a similar character it seems. But then again, he's not as like Hollywood
Yeah,
as Johnny Cage. He's more of a just a tough
yeah,
guy.
he's like Johnny Cage is Hollywood, but he's more of kind of like an everyman type character, and that's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Cole Young's kind of like the everyman type character for this. So
yeah.
I think one of these actresses that were like, who was that? I think that's his like sister or something.
Emily
Yeah,
Wells.
Emily. I think Emily is like his sister or something. You
Yeah,
see her briefly. She says something in the trailer.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. Mm.
So it's and of course Goro is there. Is
Yeah,
this the voice of Goro?
yeah.
So
Goro. They're doing.
well, she's animated.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
CGI
well,
Goro.
CGI. I'm sorry.
CGI animated. Well, he is animated, but
That's all right.
uh,
It's well, yeah,
in the first movie, of course, they had Goro in there, and he was a giant puppet in that movie. It like
yeah.
took like eight
Well,
people or something
yeah,
to like move
yeah.
him
They said it
around.
was ridiculously difficult to control him. Is what the one article I read said.
Yeah,
So
I
took 16,
six
16
oh
puppeteers.
16. That's okay, double eight.
16.
That's insane. Like
Yeah. Uh, and it was terrible too. I mean, it was.
yeah,
Uh,
I mean for the
yeah.
time, like as a
Oh,
kid watching it, like
sure.
there's a giant Goro on the screen, but you're just like,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
puppet. I mean,
Yeah.
this was the time of like the Ninja Turtles and
That's true. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait.
I do too. I think it'll be fun, like you said. I think there'll be some cheese to it, but I don't know. I feel like this will be one of the better game movies that'll be out there.
It, Sure.
Um,
I can see that.
I'm just basing it on the trailer, but like just visually, a lot of the scenery and stuff is like super nice in it. Like, I mean, you look at the first Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat, it's like that, like this is a soundstage. It's like
Yes.
it's yes, like
Yeah.
paper mache rocks that they've sprayed with water. Um,
Yeah.
and like this is actual like nice scenery. Of course, CG scenery added to it to like expand it and make it
Sure.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I want to. I can't wait to see it.
Yes. So I mean, it's a lot of actors we don't know. I looked at the IMDb and tried to click on a few, and I was like, I think I've heard of this movie. A couple of them. The guy that plays Jax has actually been in Supergirl, the
Jim
CW
Gilson,
show,
yeah.
and a couple other things that I recognize. But most of these people, that's fine. It feels like a B movie in some ways, but
Well, the
I'm hoping for the
thing I
best.
like
Yeah.
about it is like all these people seem like they can actually fight. Like these people like so it's not like okay, time for fight scene, bring in the stunt doubles for everything. I'm sure that they're using stunt doubles for some stuff, but it really like when between the actor doing it and the stunt double doing, you can tell like oh they switched them out. But this one I
Yeah.
think will be harder to differentiate like if it's the stunt double or the actor doing it because the actors I think for this can actually fight and perform these moves.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy about that.
And they have the advantage of CGI being the way it is these days, right? They have the that it looks good. I mean, it still costs a lot of money to do
Mhm.
that, right? But it's a lot easier to come by than it was
Well,
back then. So
supposedly like in that featurette that's on HBO Max, the guy who plays Kano is like says something to that extent. It's just like this is us out there doing it. It's like trust me, this isn't all
yeah,
CGI.
that's right. Yeah,
So that's cool. Like
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I like that. I think it's awesome. When you can go practical, you should go practical.
yeah.
And
I except when it comes to throwing chains with spears on the end of them, right,
no,
or
no, no,
the spearheads on.
practical.
Shouldn't do
No,
that.
just I if they're
You were supposed to not do that. For real.
if that's supposed to go through
Yeah.
someone, it should go through someone. Like make like I want the visceral feel of it. Um, no,
uh,
they shouldn't do
no.
that.
So it's yeah. So next week, April 23rd. I can't believe it's April.
I know.
To me, it's ridiculous. This is episode 189. We're about to hit 200. Can you believe
I,
that? It feels like we should be at like 400 by now. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it feels like forever. So long
But we'll
since
be
Ryan begged us to do this and made
right.
us do it.
Yeah, made us every week
You
come.
apparently
Yeah,
get
we
paid.
enjoy
I
it.
don't get paid.
We enjoy it.
Yeah, we do. We have fun.
And it's so yeah. Look for some more exciting episodes next week. We'll be back at it. Ryan, I hope will be back. He may stay in Disney World. I don't
He
know. I
might
mean,
not leave this
I
time.
don't. I don't know why he would come back.
It's a
I mean,
gamble every time he goes, whether he's coming back or not. Like
yeah.
you just don't know.
In
His family will probably
fact,
go home, but he might still be there.
yeah. So, oh, okay, good. So I was worried for a second that the movie would actually come out the day we record, so that might mess things up. But either way, it's good. That's also the 23rd is also the last episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right?
Oh, well, that's going to be a long day of watching stuff.
Yeah. So that's going to be a fun day and they said this week on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which again comes on at 2 a.m. tonight, as we always like to say, it is supposed to be a big one, is what I've read. Like it's
supposedly,
yeah,
yes.
whatever that means.
Like, so with WandaVision, there was all this like, oh, Luke Skywalker epic,
Yeah.
person gonna be on here, and Vision actor was like, I've been waiting my whole life to play opposite this character, but then it just turned out to be him, and there was no big surprise or anything. But yeah, supposedly, Episode 5 has some character that they're like debuting in the MCU that hasn't been in the MCU yet. Some character from the
What?
comics
Oh wow.
supposedly is going to be in it, and the director was like, "I'd love to see this character opposite Thor."
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
It's gonna be Mephisto, right? As well. I'll say it for Ryan.
it's Mephisto Train Gang.
It doesn't even make sense to be here. What is he here for? Should have been no.
He's just in the background, just hanging out. He's not even doing anything.
Yeah.
Ryan said he already had a run-in with a snake here in Florida.
I saw that.
The
That's
comment.
interesting.
Oh,
I mean, it's Florida. It's
they tend
hot,
to have them.
and
Yep,
at least it wasn't an alligator, right? So,
that's true.
um, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, but yeah, suppose like we'll see. We'll see if there's actually some big surprise in
Yeah.
this next
I
Falcon Winter Soldier episode.
I bet there will be, because it.
They're kind of better be.
Yeah, because it's just been a kind of a plain
No
TV show.
one's well. I mean, no one's gonna trust them anymore when they're like, "Oh, you gotta watch
Yeah,
this
that's
episode,
true.
man."
Yeah.
Then you're like, yeah, "It's just gonna be a regular episode." Like, I want to
Yeah.
watch it. You don't have to like do that to make me watch it. I'm already watching it.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And you never know. Who knows?
And then a few weeks later we'll have the Loki show.
The
Loki.
Loki show.
Is
The
it in
talk
May
show.
or is it in June? I feel like it's a little bit later.
I think it's a little bit later. There'll probably be at least a week in between the
Oh
end
yeah, at
of Falcon
least
Winter
yeah.
Soldier. They'll like they did with WandaVision. I think they're going to do like a behind the scenes kind of
Oh yeah,
episode where they
for
show
sure.
like the making of Falcon
Yeah,
Winter Soldier.
yeah. I felt like it was a little bit later, but we'll see. That's exciting though, just to keep having content on Disney Plus and all the new things that are coming, and then of course we have a new Marvel movie coming with the Black Widow coming very
Yes,
soon as well, July
which
I believe, right?
yeah, which will be in theaters and
Yeah,
Disney Plus premiere.
yeah,
Um, which is
yeah.
again cool. It's I haven't done the Disney Plus premiere stuff yet,
No, I haven't
but
either.
I'll probably do it with this one.
Yeah.
And my cat agrees with me. If you
Yeah,
meow.
yeah. I think it'll be worth it. It's going to be a different world then too, so maybe we see it in the theater. I don't know, but I'm not much of a theater person, as I've said before. I fall asleep, so we'll probably pay for it here at home and watch it. Rewatching all of the MCU movies on Disney Plus has made me reappreciate uh, the Black Widow, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. The villain for it, Taskmaster. I've been a fan of that character from the comics.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing that character,
for sure.
and I'd love to see a team up between him and Deadpool. But
Yep, and that's coming out around the time that we go to Comic Palooza, so we'll have that content coming as well. It's in July this year. We're going to Comic Palooza.
mhm.
Is the plan right now. So
Yeah, doing possibly like a live
possibly a
podcast
live
from
show.
there,
Yeah.
and then doing our, our battle royale with cheese.
Yes, we both throw the shirt. Battle Royale cheese.
Doing a live version of that there,
Yeah.
which I don't think we've done an online version of that in a while.
No, we need to get back to it because it could help
Yeah,
introduce it again. I mean that was a big that was big for us back.
it was huge.
It was
Like people
huge,
were tuning
but
in all the time. Like I can't,
yeah,
and I'm sure we've like all these emails coming in. Like, when's the next battle royale with cheese happening?
yeah.
Like, we just haven't answered them back yet.
We did have some of those before that somebody said I want to see more of that, and we should have done more. But
Hmm.
now it's like a big deal because we get all these podcasters and Ming Chen maybe participating this year as well. So
Ooh, awesome.
so that's pretty exciting. So we're excited. Um, anything else, Chris, that you'd like to add about Mortal Kombat?
Anything else besides just get over here?
Get over.
Sorry. No, no. I'm hyped for it.
I'm hype. I'm even more hype after this.
I am serious. Like, it's just one of those movies that I've
Yeah.
been really hyped to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there just hasn't been a lot of new movies
That's true.
the past year. And it's just like a new movie.
Yes, something
Yes.
different. So, one more thing. I meant to say this earlier. Watching the Snyder cut of Justice League made me want to play Injustice. the
Oh,
video
yeah.
game some more,
Mhm.
and I didn't do it. But this also makes me want to play Mortal Kombat. So we got to play some video games soon.
We do.
Um,
We get on to play some Mortal Kombat.
if
Uh,
anybody wants to play video games with us, we'll be glad to have you if you're fun to play with. If you're not fun, then we won't play. No, find us
uh,
on our group on Facebook. I am Group on Facebook. Look for us as I Am Geek Show anywhere that we have social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Um, find us there. Leave us a message if you want to play games with us. We can add you on our PlayStation group, I guess. Play. We need some people. It'd be fun. Um, but find us anyways. Join our group. Find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you'd like to listen to other episodes, we're on Podbean and iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, everywhere.
yeah, and on YouTube, feel free to subscribe.
Yes.
And click that bell or whatever
bell.
they say. These kids.
That way you'll know next time when we're live, and also on Facebook. So we do this on both platforms, and we're gonna look at doing just lost the thing, the video game Twitch. We're gonna add Twitch at some point, which would be cool. Maybe hit a different audience, who knows? But thank you all for listening. Thank you everyone in the chat for participating. Sorry we didn't get to read all the comments, but thanks Ryan for being there, and thank you Chris. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, well, thank you, Chris.
We'll be back again next week at our normal time next Thursday. Ryan should be back, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.